for tonight, Mr. Barth Gimbel. Tonight, Barth's guest will be Sal Maglione, who has just undergone his change of life. A certain Mr. J. Carter, who will go face-to-face with Barth himself. The FCC Marching Band, and Happy Kine and the Mirth Makers. And me, I'm Jerry Hubbard. And now your host and mine, Mr. Barth Gimbel.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Good evening, and welcome again to Fernwood Tonight. I'm Barth Gimbel, and once again, I'm back in one of the good braces of Dr. Clarence Kenderly, the only licensed orthopedic surgeon in the Tri-County area. That case of whiplash I suffered a few weeks ago has flared up, do you believe it, again, and I'm as surprised as you are. I really thought my lawyer had it all cleared up, but that's the way it is. The show must go on, and that's that. And if anybody should instantly ask you just about this, just tell them you saw me wearing the neck brace tonight. I would appreciate it, and you might end up making a quick $5 witness fee for swearing to it someday in a court of law. Who knows? Oh, hi, Jerry. How you doing?
Boy, you're a real trooper. You're on the job even with that, huh?
That's what they pay me for.
And you know, everyone here is really rooting for you. On my way up, I heard everyone in the building saying, will we be glad when that pain in the neck is gone? You know, anyone else in your position might consider just staying home. You might even think about that. Letting me fill in for you here.
Yeah, I'm sure you've thought of that, Jerry. Anyway, friends, and I know I think I can call you friends because, well, I don't know, I'm feeling a little sentimental tonight. You say how they all concerned, etc. I'm in pain, but I'm also moved. You remember that when this show first went on the air, I took the time to thank some business people who had helped to cushion my fall into a new town with some very thoughtful gifts? Never in my wildest planning did I dream that just ordinary viewers like yourselves would start feeling as if maybe, you know, they too should send a gift to me. You people were not supposed to do that, okay? Of course, there's no law against it. But some of you people have been so darn nice that I just have to take a minute and show the less thoughtful viewers out there a couple of the things that you Christian ones have sent in. Now, I don't know if you remember this. I'm sure you do, Jerry. The other night, just in passing, I happened to mention that I love Brussels sprouts. Well, Mrs. Margaret Delsey, bless her heart, sent me this whole package of the little beauties.
Oh,
Isn't that something?
That is something.
And so the next time the urge hits me, all I have to do is just defrost and enjoy.
Boy.
Isn't that something? Thank you, Margaret. That's with the cheese sauce, too, Jerry.
Okay.
Isn't that nice? So actually, if you had a steak or something along with it, it could be a meal in itself. Of course, Mrs. Delsey didn't send along any steak, did she? Narda Pike, who is in Candy Lee's Fascinating Females group, said she started thinking about what a Miami boy might need when that old Fernwood winter comes blowing in. And she sat down and knitted me a little blender cozy. Fits right over a juicer or a blender. And that keeps the juice from freezing up on those frosty mornings before you get a chance to drink it, which is a real pain. Oh, well.
Maybe you can wear it as a little hat if you go out and throw snowballs.
Could be, maybe. That's good. It's not Brussels sprouts, but it doesn't take up much room. You know what I could do? I could maybe make a Brussels sprout cozy out of this. What do you think? To thaw out my little green friends. I'll just put those right... There's a thought. See if this fits. Let's see if it works. Well, maybe not. Okay. And a lady, this is even better, a lady who just signs her name Midge, first name only. She sent along some leather work that she does. First of all, this beautiful billfold. Isn't that something? Look at that. Place for all your cards and everything. That's not leather, though. That's just some sort of see-through plastic. How she does that, I don't know. You'd think the company made it. But thank you for that, Midge. Also, as I said, she does leather work. She sent along this little dog collar with some rhinestones on it. It's more like metal studs, actually. Kind of interesting, isn't it? She really loves the leather stuff. She also sent along this little mask. I guess it's kind of like a ski mask or something like that. I don't know, sort of Star Wars-ish kind of thing. Look at that zipper over there. Oh, hi, Jerry. That's great.
Kind of for some Halloween fun there.
Yeah, I guess so. It's all for Halloween. Apparently, this goes together. It's color coordinated, so it's wonderful. Thank you very much.
No return address or phone number.
Maybe this is one of those kind of Afro yellow hairpiece, maybe. I don't know. Looks like that you could do that kind of thing with it. That's wonderful. Thank you. She also sends a little card that says, love your show, just some things for your more private time. So I don't know what that means, but thank you, Midge. And maybe next time, sign your whole name, huh? Before we have to beat it out of you. Okay. Hey, I'm only kidding. Just kidding. Now, I know I've read about this, and apparently there's a lot more role-playing involved here than actual violence, as I understand it. Although I don't want to encourage you people to send more gifts to me, I should say, if you're going to do it, let's remember to put enough stamps on the package, okay? Because the people here at the station have all been instructed, right down to the very last one, both of them. They are not supposed to pay any delinquent postage, all right? Okay. Now, moving along with the show, you know the Fernwood Community College has what many people consider to be the very finest marching band in the entire Tri-County area. You've heard them, haven't you, Jerry?
Yes, I have. The football games, basketball games.
Right.
The trouble is they have to march up and down the football field because they're so large, and then during the winter on those basketball games, such a pain in the neck. You just get in, you get your coat off, like, come on, the band's going to play, and everyone has to get up and march out to the football field to watch them up and down, and then it's hardly worth it.
Well, they also tried a thing, too, where they pushed the bleachers back into the wall to give them more room to move in there and just had the entire audience go outside.
That defeats the purpose. They tried that, putting speakers so you could hear the music outside, and some people would just get in their car and go home, and it kind of defeated the purpose.
A lot of them thought the game was over and didn't know what it was. And why was there a victory celebration when, of course, we lost?
Well, that's right.
We went 1-24 last year.
Well, a lot of people bring their own flask, if you know what I'm talking about. So when they hear that whistle blow, let's move outside. What the heck? They think the game's over, and they're down to the drive-in for a pizza. They don't care.
Absolutely. Well, there's one way to get them to stay, Jerry.
That's right. There's not enough discipline in this world.
In fact, if our coaches use this over there, we might do better than 1-24 next year. Who knows?
They whip that team into shape,
Whip them into, you hear that all the time.
Some of those boys would be bandaged from head to toe before they even went on the court.
Look at this. You know what they call this?
No.
A whiplash. And what do you call it? I wonder what I could get for this if I sold it. Tonight, at any rate, we have the band here, and we'd like to give them the recognition they deserve so very desperately. We want to have them perform one of their drills for you right here on our show.
Band is here?
Well,
the whole band?
Hear me out. I understand something happened. They were on their way back from Columbus and had some bus trouble. They traveled by bus. They have that big one. And we were going to have to schedule that for a later appearance, I think, the whole band. But we do have the head majorette and her brother and her boyfriend, because they were lucky enough to be traveling in a separate car. Unfortunately, their instruments were not traveling with them. They're still on the bus. Somewhere. I don't know where. Between here and Columbus, I guess that's where they were. But our own band, Happy Kind, the Mirth Makers here, would love to help out. I'm sure with some accompaniment. But as luck would have it, we don't even have the arrangements here. And Happy, you know, those guys that have their hands full just learning their own. So here, nevertheless, the best we could do is head majorette Janet Belcher and the heart of the Fernwood Community College Marching Band. Let's welcome them.
Where are they?
Why don't you come on over here and sit down? Thank you. We can lose the luggage. Well, that looked like the nucleus of what must be a very, very good marching band. You must be quite an inspiration to your football team, huh?
Well, I try to be.
I'm sure you are.
You know, in watching Janet, I couldn't help thinking the team tries hard. They just don't do too well. And I think what they need to win is a few more running backs with legs like hers. And, of course, maybe a tight end or two.
Yes, I'm sure. Jerry means that all as a compliment. Okay. It certainly must make losing games a lot easier, though, and kind of liven up those team parties, huh? I have to ask you, how long have you been twirling the old baton there?
Oh, for about 8 years now.
It seemed it. That's good. Well, I'm bored. We'll be right back after these words. Thank you. Thank you, Happy. You know, folks, nowadays, successful businessmen really need to keep one jump ahead of the trends and the changes in this fast-moving world. Our next guest has been a Fernwood entrepreneur ever since he moved here from New York 25 years ago, Jerry. That's something, huh? You all know Sal Maglione, Sal the Barber. Well, he's made what we hear is an exciting change in his two-chair emporium, and we've invited him here to tell us all about it. Here he is, the Fernwood Clipper, Sal the Barber.
Down in those chairs, huh?
Yeah. How you doing, Sal?
All right, all right.
That's good. I understand the big grand opening is this Saturday. Now, what's that all about?
Well, I'm no longer a barber shop.
Oh, my goodness.
What I am now is a hair salon, if you please.
Oh, what do you call it?
Well, the name of the place is going to be Salon de Sal.
It's got a catch right there. It's kind of chic, Sal.
Oh, yeah, the place is loaded with a lot of chic.
Tell us. Excuse me, I'm infirm. Why, after all these years as lovable Sal the Barber, have you made such a big change in your business?
I didn't make the change. My banker did. I wasn't making any money. You think I like going to work dressed up looking like a clown?
A little like Ben Vereen. I'm sorry, I think you better settle down here. Maybe just lighten up a bit. It's not my fault, it's not Jerry's, and it's certainly not Janet's, so just cool it.
I'm sorry.
Tell us all about it, okay?
Well, it starts out with some basic historical perspective.
Sure.
See, back in the 50s, right? That was, as we all know, was the golden era of hair cutting. Mm-hmm. We had the crew cut, we had the Detroit, we had the basic bowl cut. Mm-hmm. We had many short styles.
Sure.
Well, the hair, the floor, it was loaded with hair at the end of a day's work. Plus, I made a mint selling butch wax, oils, tonics, greasy kid stuff, you name it.
Well, I will name it, actually. We have Vitalis, which never leaves a stain on your couch. You have Brill Cream, a little dabble, do you? And Wild Root Cream Oil, Charlie. Just to name a few. Sorry, go ahead.
That's all right. Well, then came the 60s, and the bottom fell out from the barber business. Oh, there was hair growing all around. Mm-hmm. It was growing on their heads, on their necks, and on their chins. Everywhere you looked, there was hair, but nobody was cutting it.
Yes, that must have put, well, I guess you'd have to say quite a dent in your business, didn't it?
A dent? It ruined me. Look, you know, I had kids that used to come into my shop every 2 weeks to get a haircut. I would see them once in 2 years.
Ooh.
And you know what for?
A haircut?
To comb the knots out of their hair. They ruined my combs. The teeth fell out. They bent my scissors.
Whoa.
They had the worst jungle on their faces. And their hair smelled from that incense stuff and that old smoke.
Yeah, I know the feeling. Probably couldn't get much worse, could it?
Oh, yeah. Then came the 70s. And then the adults started letting their hair grow long.
Sure.
Business fell down to nothing. I mean, nada. Zero. But I mean zilch.
Woo.
Well, he didn't have many customers, huh?
I think that's what he's driving at, Jerry.
Well, I'll tell you. My chair started growing cobwebs.
Ooh.
Me and Mel, we did nothing. We just sat. Ah, well, the highlights of the day were when we would get up and shave each other.
Yeah.
Poor Mel, he was cracking up. I remember he was sitting on the kitty horse chair, looking in the mirror, trimming around his ears and clipping his nose hairs.
That's not only sad, it's disgusting.
It's a shame, too, because Sal's barbershop, when I was a kid, I used to go there, and he gave you that extra little bit the other barbers would. He would brush out from under your collar all those loose hairs. He even had an elderly gentleman who took a whisk broom and brushed every bit of your coat or your shirt off afterwards, and he was there for Many years until that incident where some young guy strangled him. Remember that? Threw him down on the floor, and we had to, the police had to come and...
Wasn't very pretty, that's for sure.
No.
Now we have all these people with hairy coats walking around, and we miss them.
But now you got your hair blowers and all. It's this whole fancy style.
Yeah,
right?
well, look, now people are getting their haircuts again. But do they go to their local barber?
No.
No. Barbers ain't good enough for them. They go to stylists, fancy schmancy, right?
I see now.
Well, that's why I changed the shop to a salon boutique.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
And I became a stylist.
Jumping on the bandwagon.
Well, you got it nowadays.
Join him if you can't fight him.
Right. I put wood in the whole place. We built wooden booths. We put wood around the mirrors. We even got wood grain scissors. And,
Got some new help down there, too, haven't you?
yeah, well, we had to get the kitty horse chair out of there, too, which
Oh.
all right, so we piped in some music and Neil
yeah,
Diamond.
Neil Diamond.
Yeah, the Kinks and we even got a shampooist named Merrill, right? And he brought a friend along, a manicurist, a guy named Dwayne. Well, Dwayne and Merrill, they got a joint checking account.
Say no more. Say no more. Okay.
You know, but that I can live with.
Yeah.
And I can live with the fact that we had to use the hand blowers, right?
Sure.
But I had to put in those kind of blowers that you sit under. And that killed Mel. It killed him.
Yeah.
He quit. He just couldn't stand the sight to see the spot welds and the truck drivers sitting under those dryers.
So, give it to me straight. In your career, you've looked at hair from both sides now. You call yourself a stylist. You've also been a barber. Is there really any difference in those hairstyles of the 50s and the hairstyles of today?
Sure. $23.
Okay.
All this jewelry it costs. Do you know what a leopard skin barber's smock goes for nowadays?
Wouldn't want to go.
Well, they're ridiculous, and I wouldn't wear one. I'm just glad my saintly father ain't here to see me looking like this.
Your father's dead.
No, he lives in Miami.
Same difference.
Well, I just couldn't have Papa see me like this, that's all.
Well, Sal, I'm starting to dawn on me that all of this is probably only important to you. We'll be right back after this important word. Thank you, Happy. We're back. Something unprecedented happened here. I don't usually take personal calls on the phone, but a lot of you wonderful viewers out there have been calling in, especially this one here, in regard to my whiplash accident the other day. You know, when you're sitting here, Jerry, just talking to the camera, you see a piece of plastic, you only hope in your heart there's real people out there caring about you as much as we care about them.
And more times than not, there are, too.
That's true, and I think the ratings bear us out on that.
So?
Got a lady here's called in, and this is going to be a great help to me in my cause here to make sure that the legally correct thing is done. This lady was a witness to the actual accident we talked about in the supermarket where I was whiplashed from being backsided by the shopping cart. Now, if I know it's unprecedented, I would like to just ask her a few questions. We only have a second or so. I don't want to lose her because she's at a booth, okay? Yes, dear. You saw the whole thing. Fine. No, I went right into the certs and the Tic Tac. I certainly did hit it hard enough to hurt myself. What are you trying to say? No, I hurt myself. I realized I was standing up afterward, but it was not a nudge, it was a shove. No, a whiplash, I know I stood up and walked out to the parking lot. Whiplash does not show up sometimes for hours.
There's a shock element, too.
There is, Jerry, would you talk to her and put some sense in her head?
Yes.
I hope she's a legal witness.
Ma'am? Well, Mr. Gimble is justifiably concerned and upset here. Yes. Well, how many accidents were there? Well, did you see this particular one?
Tell her the one in the aqua suit.
He was wearing the aqua suit.
If she turns on right now, it's the same suit.
Yeah, he happens to be wearing the same suit. Yeah. Well,
Tell her I've had it cleaned since.
Yeah, what do you mean you didn't see him legally? You either saw him or you didn't.
That's right.
Well, she wants to talk to you, something about an appearance on the show.
All right, you're saying you are a singer? Okay, we understand you are a singer. Did you see me legally? Yes, we have singers on the show. There's no question about that. You did see it or you didn't? We could use a singer anytime. Yes, dear. We could always use a singer. You did see it legally. You would sign a paper to that? If you use the band as well, of course you could use the band when you're here, but did you actually see it? Would you sign a paper to that effect?
More important, which he stated on the show for the public to hear.
Exactly. Would you go so far as to do what Jerry just said, which is stated on the show, if you got the band and could sing?
One number.
1 for 3.
No,
She's asking
no.
me. We've never had 3 numbers. I've never done 3 numbers, and I'm the host.
One song, maybe a second after the settlement.
Okay, we'll do one before the court trial and the settlement, and then, yes, we could do one afterward. Sort of a celebration number. Okay, fine. Could you call back later on? Okay, because we're running short. Okay, thank you, dear, and don't forget what you've made up and said. Okay, fine.
The wheels of justice.
I turned a little quickly that time, and the pain is really setting in as the case gets richer. Janet, you're a wonderful twirler, and I'm sure something else as well, and you'll show us that someday, sometime. Make someone a wonderful wife. Who knows what you could do.
Thank you.
Sal, best of luck with the grand opening on Saturday.
Thank you.
I think I'll come down for a little trim there.
You can tell he's got a lot of bright ideas, because no grass grows on a playground. Jerry, thank you so much for helping me field that call. Happy Kind and all your mirth men. Wonderful. See you tomorrow night. Thank you. It's everything you saw it.
Also appearing on tonight's show were Linda Riley, John Bonney, Norman Stiles as the FCC Marching Band, and Luke Andreas as Sal